Hello everybody, today we're going to be looking at a game I played on for internet chess server. I was rated 1766. My opponent, who was black, was rated 1847. And the opening was the Dragon Sicilian. And it's been said in the Dragon Sicilian that all white needs to do is break open the H file or the G file and place rooks and on those files, and black really has no chance. But theory has improved since the days of Bobby Fischer on the Dragon, and some say that black actually has chances now. So we'll be looking at a game I played. Um, the game started e4, c5, knight f3, and then d6. This is a typical Sicilian structure. As you can see, the pawn chains. I play a d4 break. He takes. I take with a knight, and then he plays knight f6 to attack the pawn. I defend it. And here we see the dragon variation come about. Now, the dragon is defined by the pawn structure. If you look, starting with the d pawn, the pawn structure looks like a dragon's tail. Very interesting to note. So I play f3. Sometimes in the dragon variation, here I could have actually played bishop e3 with no worries about the knight coming to g4. The reason is because I have the move bishop g5, and after he defends, I can take on g4 with the queen. So when he takes back, he's just down a piece, you see. So we can go back to where we started. Okay, then I played f3, and then he plays bishop g7, a typical move in the Sicilian. White's go is to push g4 with h4, castle queenside, and shift the rooks to the king side and attack. And black's plan is to hold off the attack. And while he's holding off, he's going to be using this long diagonal. He's going to shift this rook on a8 to c8, and he's going to bring his queen to a5 and push both these pawns up and do a queenside attack, all while trying to defend his king side. And usually when you have opposite side castlings, it's going to be a very strategical and tactical game. So I played e3, I played castle king side, I played queen d2 with the idea of bishop coming later on and the queen coming into h6, and then pushing the pawn to h4 and h5. So here we see knight c6, which is a typical move, but usually you see a6 here, a6, and then knight f6, but it does not matter really. So bishop e2, the idea here is if he comes to e5, my pawn won't be defended, and that's just a prophylactic move. He comes to e5, it's not going to be defended, and he gets a tempo on me, because he can start his little pawn push. So here, this reminds me of a game that Fischer played, and his opponent pushed the rook with his pinky to b8. It's the same move, and it really serves no purpose, because the rook usually comes to c8, and the rook is usually sacrificed on c3, and Black crashes his queen into a1. I play g4. He plays the typical bishop e6. If you notice here that taking on e6 is no advantage to me. It is double pawns, but it's no advantage because the f file opens up, and his pawn will be well defended after he pushes it up, or he might use it as a break on d5. So I play h4, and then he plays what was expected, 95 with the idea of attacking. He'll probably most likely try to place his knight and trade off, or attack my queen or trade off for my bishop. I castle queenside, and he comes into a5 with the queen, which is typical. His idea is to, at some point, capture this pawn if the knight is captured. So I come back and attack the queen. He takes, which is good because the bishop is eyeing that a2 square. So it was a good move for me, but for him, maybe not so good. I take, and he brings the wrong rook over. Here he should have brought the b rook to the c file, not the f rook. The reason is the f rook usually comes to the d file, so that's the reason. And I just play over prophylaxis, and here he comes. He's going to try to do his pawn push up, so I go ahead with my pawn push, and he plays b5, thinking about coming here. But if he does come to b4, I just jump in here, or I can jump over here. Usually it's a knight on the rim is grim, but he does have a square over here that's kind of weak, so, and it closes his queen off in future attacks. And there's no light squared bishop anymore on d7 to attack my knight, so it's pretty safe there. And I take, now we see that the file is open and the pawns have accomplished what I wanted them to. So he takes back, and I come in with my bishop, and my opponent has no really good options here. Bishop a8 is the best option, and he does play it. Okay. Now here, the computer says I'm up a pawn and a half, even though the material is even. This is because I have initiative and a tempo on him, and the attack is quite lingering, so he has to play accurately. And of course, I come back, and this is sort of a bad move, but it works. It's threatening. Rook takes, and he takes back, of course, and then I play, let's see, rook takes a8, king takes h8, bishop takes, pawn takes, and then the queen comes in, the h6, and the king has to move over, but he's trapped, so I can just move my rook over and checkmate in one move, so because the queen comes into h8. And at this point the computer says I'm up 8 pawns because of the threat. I did not see it at first, and so I kind of ignored it. And I was more worried about my queen side over here, but I do manage to find the winning moves. So I play knight d5. He takes, I take, and his queen comes back, supposedly thinking he's going to defend now or push this a pawn up. I think he was wanting to push the a pawn up and try to defend the queen side, but it's a little too late now because I make a great move, which the computer seems to take a little little bit to find. He says it says I'm 3 points up here, 3 pawns up, but then all of a sudden you see I get a score of 300, which means that it's checkmate. So the winning move is to take the bishop, check. King takes. Okay, I could have done this earlier, but I overlooked it. But I did end up doing it. So bishop f6. He takes, and then I come in with my queen, cutting him off and cutting his chances of winning off at all. And rook to h1 is a win because there's no way for black to defend the h8 square. So it was a good win for me. We can go back and we can look at some variations that black could have done to prevent this checkmate. After he took here, let's see. After I play rook takes, he could have played up, right? But if we look, bishop f6, king takes f6, queen f4 check, king g7, then we see queen h6 and king f6, g5 check, king f5, queen h4, and he's gonna have to try just some nothing moves, you know. So queen b6, bishop d3 check, and after he takes, knight takes d3, queen g4 check, king e5, and then simply queen e4 should win. Yes. Okay, and that's the end. So that's an introduction to the dragon, and it's a good introduction. Shows there's a lot of attacking chances for white in the dragon. So I hope you enjoyed my video, and have a good day.